not. He said,
Investigate it
we're
further.
not, man, we're not.
No, I think it's great too. I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah, I do too. And then, my question was, why do we even need to have this board? Okay.
and I think eventually,
Oh God, are they gonna?
let's see what
I
Sergeant
didn't
Wood's
think
doing.
he's here for us to watch this.
If they're here, want to speak in the public.
What's up, my friend?
I don't know. I saw that.
You see that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw that too. I saw
What
that.
is it?
Called me on my cell phone. Of course, there it's very spotty. Boom, it dropped. I had to reset my phone. I had to turn my phone off and turn it back on.
I don't know.
It would not connect.
We
Reconnect.
didn't even see your email.
Hey, they get away.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, bring that down so we don't miss stuff.
We reading everybody email.
You brought it down though.
They're not closing out their stuff. You know what? That's why I end up on social media and everything else. You gotta close that stuff out and let it not remember. Your passwords. You get in trouble. Next thing they know what you're buying.
Oh,
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
wow. Hey, I need to take it off that
Okay.
screen and put it onto the other screen.
And we, typo.
And
We
we
had
got
that typo that we fixed on the,
Woods told us it was a typo.
make sure I'm on the right page. Extra winching is $103 instead of 300 and.
You want to verify that before we?
Like,
What the hell? Is that what I told you?
I know, Bertha.
Okay.
I don't know what I
Tell
would
us
have
what
done.
to do.
Yeah, you tell us then. Should it be the 309? Yeah. Okay.
All right, so everything I said was wrong.
You only told me, right?
I guess, I don't know.
So it's all right. We'll see what he said.
All right, we're good.
Listen, Sergeant Wood, are you ready?
They're looking at that right now, I think.
You ready? Okay, we'll get started then. Everyone, if the board will make sure that their mics are on and turned up, the green light, and then turn the volume up so everyone can hear. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending the Chattanooga Beer and Record Board meeting for March 21st, 2024. All meeting attendees must sign in on the designated sign-in sheet that is here at this podium here on your left. Please mute or turn off all electronic devices as to not disrupt the meeting. Any individual wishing to address the board must do so from this podium here on your right. Is there approval of the March 7th minutes? Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Tiffany, is there a second?
Second.
Second from JW. All in favor? Any opposed? So approved. We'll move on to the swearing in of witnesses.
Anyone that's going to be speaking today needs to stand at this time and raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? I do. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to temporary beer permit applications.
Representing Springtime in Chattanooga, Samantha Curran Leslie is making application for a temporary beer permit on behalf of Rabbit Valley Farmers Market, Inc. Ms. Leslie has not had an event as such in the past. The event is scheduled for April 20th, 2024, from 10 o'clock a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. at 150 River Street, Coolidge Park. The location is owned by the City of Chattanooga and is zoned FBC RPK.
They have met all requirements.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, welcome. Please tell us about your event.
This is a collaboration with Shop the Market at, and it's a springtime market, kind of a typical, I don't want to call it a farmer's market, but similar to a farmer's market without the produce, but it'll have all the vendors and various food vendors and things like that.
Okay. Questions from the board?
Tell us what you're gonna do. You're gonna be serving beer, is this correct?
Yes, this will be
All right.
correct.
Tell us about how you're gonna, monitor that.
We will ID everyone who's there. We'll have wristbands, and I'll actually be the bartender that day, and I'm certified and have the ABC license.
Okay.
So I'll make sure everyone's carded, everyone has a band, yeah.
Very good, all right.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir, go ahead.
well, tell us about your security.
Security, he knows more about the security
Yeah,
than I
we're
do.
working with Jonathan Sussman.
I'm sorry.
What's your name?
Robert Davis.
Robert Day.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Shop the market at. Yeah, we're working with Jonathan Sussman, who is forwarding us on some officers, but we plan to have 2 officers on site.
Who is Jonathan?
Jonathan Sussman is the director of Chattanooga Parks and Rec.
He's the director of special events,
Okay,
with
special
Parks and
events, yeah.
Outdoors. Mhm.
All right, all right, all right. And what's the capacity you're thinking that you're gonna have in attendance?
Well, we're hoping for 10,000. I know at the music festivals, it's between 50 and 30,000, so we probably won't achieve 10, but we're looking at least for a minimum of 5,000 attendees. But that's over a 9-hour period, right? So,
Fantastic. Questions or comments or motions from the board?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve from JW. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second from Dan Mayfield. Christie? Brooke? Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany? Yes. Reginald?
Yes.
JW?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, so approved. Congratulations. Thank you for doing this event.
thank you very much.
Representing Bessie Smith Big Nine Music Fest, Paula Wilkes is making application for a temporary beer permit on behalf of Bessie Smith Cultural Center. Ms. Wilkes has had an event as such in the past. The event is scheduled for April 13th rather than the 14th that's on your agenda. 2024 from 3 o'clock p.m. to 11 o'clock p.m. at 200 East ML King Boulevard, the lawn of Bessie Smith. The location is owned by the City of Chattanooga and is zoned UCIV 3.
The only thing that I seen holding it up this morning was legal, so if they're good on that,
We actually have some questions.
okay, fair enough.
Good morning, Paula.
Good morning.
Please tell us about your event.
This is our annual music festival. Will be held on the lawn of the Bessie Smith Cultural Center. We've done this several years past, and prior to that, the Strut, so we have quite a bit of experience, but we have live entertainment on the lawn of the Bessie. The Bessie and Cancun's will be the only ones selling beer to be carried out into the festival site, and we have a agreement with Cancun's, so those are the only ones. Bessie will be selling beer. We have licensed bartenders that will be there, as well as security from Global Protective Services and Chattanooga Police Department.
Great. Does Legal want to ask their questions?
Yes. Okay, so I'm looking at the map, and it has the beer tents on one side of the street. I'm assuming that's the lawn,
They're on the lawn of the Bessie, yes,
right? And then there are food vendors across the street.
yes.
So will the patrons be able to take the beer from the lawn to the other side of the street to the food vendors?
Yes, within our festival, closed-in festival site.
Okay. Is the land on the other side where the food vendors are, is that part of the Bessie Smith as well?
No, it's on by Omega Parking is who leases that space, and we have an agreement with Omega Parking.
Okay, what kind of agreement with them?
To utilize, we've rented their space for that day, the parking
Okay.
lot.
Have you submitted that to with your application as well?
No, we weren't asked to. We've never been asked to show that in the past.
Okay, I'm concerned because with the temporary permit only covers the land that the beer tents are on. So it's the Bessie Smith land, so we would need a letter of land use from the food vendor, from Omega Parking, and then also outside of Cancun's as well.
Okay, in the past, it's always been within the festival site of the street closures. That's what we have applied for licensing for, and that's what we've received in the past.
Okay, So did you apply for a special event permit as well, or?
Yes, we have a special event permit. We have street closures. We went through that whole process, and that's been approved by the city.
Okay, can you submit that to?
Yes.
To me as well, because I think, once I see that, I think that'll clear up some of the questions
Yeah,
that
they've
we
just
have.
sent me the finalized traffic control plan. We've done all that. Special event permit has been approved through the city.
Okay,
We went through all the legal processes on that.
okay, all right. Well, if you could upload that, I think that would satisfy our concerns.
I can do that. It's not a problem.
Okay,
You finished?
yeah.
All right. Any questions or comments from the board?
So the street will be closed, is that correct?
Yes, the street will be closed. The street will actually be closed. MLK will be closed from Georgia Avenue to Foster and Maple.
Okay.
And CPD will be working those street closures as well as private security.
We have a motion to approve from Tiffany. Second. Who made the
Was
second?
that a question until you receive your information to proceed with this, so we can go on and do that?
Right, so that's what I was about to
Okay,
say.
well, I was about to ask.
Any approval will be subject to me reviewing the documents
Okay.
she uploads, so,
I can upload that as soon as I walk back over.
okay.
So I have a motion to approve pending the documents by
And I'll-
Tiffany,
And I'll second it.
and a second from Reginald. Chrissy, approve? Yes. Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany? Yes. Reginald?
Yes.
JW?
I'm gonna recuse myself.
Okay. Chair approves, so approved. Congratulations, have a great event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hillary Cruz. Thank you.
You did.
Next applicant representing Save Water Drink Wine. Caroline Clark is making application for a temporary beer permit on behalf of Waterways. Ms. Clark has not had a permit for such an event. The event is scheduled for April 6, 2024, from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 200 River Street, Outdoor Chattanooga Center. The location is owned by the City of Chattanooga and is zone RPK.
And they have met all requirements.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us about your event.
It is an annual event. It's our signature fundraiser. We're a nonprofit. It goes, I think, Bertha said, from 5:30 to 8:30. There's not any sale of alcohol. It's all given out, and we serve beer and wine at this event, along with food. Based on other questions you've asked, we'll have 4 people there with an ABC license. We've hired 2 people to do security to cover both ends. And the map that you're given, I did show that we're serving beer inside. That will really probably only take place if there's bad weather. So that's a just in case. We like to hold everything outside typically. So the intention is to keep everything under the tent. We are going to have a huge tent under there where all the tables will be. And we will also have a band out there. And then any food that we have will be served outside.
When you say you're not selling, you're giving away, do you mean it's included in the ticket cost?
Correct,
Okay.
yes. And when people come in, we'll have a band to show, it's an event wristband, if you are going to be served alcohol. People also, we give out glasses, and it has our name on there. That's the only glass other than a coffee. If you get a coffee, it will be served in that glass. So that's another way for us to kind of monitor if you have to walk up with that glass and your event wristband to get a drink.
All right, questions from the board?
I'll make a motion, we approve the application.
We have a motion to approve from Dan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Reginald.
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
Brooke?
Yes.
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Reginald?
Yes.
JW? Chair votes yes, so approved. Have a great event. Thank
Right,
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next applicant representing 4 to 3 Entertainment LLC, doing business as the Black Sheep. They wish to withdraw their application.
You wish to withdraw?
Yes.
Okay.
Then we don't need to take any action, do we? I don't think so.
All right, we'll move on to the next.
Next application, representing S&M Convenient Inc., doing business as S&M Convenience Store. Mukesh R. Patel is making application to engage in the sale of carryout beer at 2302 Jenkins Road. Mr. Patel has not had a beer permit for this location in the past, but has a carryout beer permit for Mike's located at 4301 Norcross Road. The location is owned by Mr. Patel, and I didn't get it signed off by zoning, so I don't have zone.
Yes, that zoning, it looks like zoning has not been approved. I was speaking with zoning just a minute ago, and I was advised that they've still not made the necessary adjustments to comply with the zoning requirements.
Okay.
Good morning. I'm Ty Edwards, the general contractor with TG Edwards Construction. The plans that were revised have been uploaded to the portal. The inspectors, Ms. Jennifer at Landscaping, Dr. Karna Levitt as well, they have both reviewed the modifications that have been made as requested from the last meeting where the owner was here. All the modifications on the list that needed to be corrected or made have been made. Drawings have been submitted through the portal system. The inspections, CDOT has inspected, landscaping is inspected. They have approved everything. So I think it's just waiting on the uploaded drawings that were sent to the portal early this week
Okay.
to be triple checked again.
Okay.
What was your name, sir?
I'm sorry, Ty, T-Y, Edwards. I'm with TG Edwards Construction.
All right. It looks like zoning is, representative is right behind you. If you'll let them step up and speak for a moment. Thank you, Mr. Edwards.
Hi, I'm Inspector Wiley with the Zoning Division. So part of that statement I would agree with, and the other part of the statement I wouldn't. There's been nothing approved. There was an initial set of plans that was submitted and approved for construction. Construction commenced, and the construction varied from the plans in more than one area. Once inspectors came out and saw that that had varied from the plans, then they commenced communication back and forth. And so new drawings have been submitted, so we do agree with that. I just looked at an email that did state that the drawings were attached and they had been uploaded to the portal, but those have not been reviewed and signed off on as of yet, as of this morning before I came over here. That's why I was just a little later than normal getting here. I was in a conversation with Landscape. I also went to the property and took some pictures the other day, and according to what I'm looking at on the pictures, the as-built is still not in accordance with the drawings that were put over. So there's still many questions when it comes to property lines, when it comes to impervious area, when it comes to some of the landscaping. So there's still no official approval. I'm not sure if any verbal or telephonic conversations that have happened, but as far as any type of approval in the portal, in the official portal on the permit, that has not occurred. Therefore, I'm still holding the zoning review as not approved on the beer side as well.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wiley. Any questions from the board for Mr. Wiley?
I have a question.
Okay.
So do you know how long it will take?
So they are working on it. I do know they are working on it. Typically, we process reviews. If we need more information, we request more information and move on to the next review. So there's people in line that we move on to the next review, people that have all the information or have built correctly according to their plans, and we keep moving. When those plans get resubmitted, we put them back in line. Now, if they pick those out of line and pull them up, sometimes we'll do, like for instance, something like this. I would have done something like that for a client to go ahead and move this through and not waste everybody's time. But in this situation, like I said, I had a conversation about it. It is on their radar, but I can't, because I don't have control of that. I'm not the individual reviewing that piece of it. I can't, testify to a time frame, but I would say that would happen within a reasonable amount of time, the next couple of weeks at least. This is the reason I had suggested maybe it be passed a little further out than 1 week when I know Mr. Patel was very confident that it was going to be able to be handled, but I was suggesting maybe pushing it another couple weeks, that he would actually have the adequate time to get everything done in the portal and reviewed and approved before he came back before you guys. So that's where we stand.
So is he just waiting on the review? That's all? He's corrected what needed to be corrected?
So allegedly, things are corrected. Those corrections have not been inspected, reviewed, or approved.
That's a big word, alleged.
So potentially there could be additional issues.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so we can't proceed until those are approved.
Correct.
Basically, so we will need a motion.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we push this out until, do we get a date?
I would
Till the next
suggest,
meeting?
She's saying that
yeah, I would suggest the last meeting in April, maybe?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we push this, S&M convenience to the last meeting in April.
the 18th, that's, she said, the 18th.
The 18th.
April 18th?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have a motion from JB Cole to pass this till April 18th.
Second.
We have a second from Tiffany. Brooke, I'm sorry, Christie?
Yes.
Brooke?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Reginald?
Yes.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. So passed.
Yeah.
April 18th. It is.
So there's nothing else we can,
Now, unfortunately, for the part of the process, we can't move forward without it being reviewed and approved by them.
okay.
Unfortunately, I apologize.
No, you're fine, you're fine. I know I personally spoke with the inspectors in charge of doing those said inspections, and they have all given us their approval. It's just a matter of entering it into the system. So all the requirements that were requested last time have been met, have been re-inspected on site by the inspectors. Everything that's been requested had been finished. And so that's the reason we're back here today, was for that verification. I even brought pictures of everything that had been done, along with copies of the submittals into the portal system that was submitted. And, I don't know what else we can do. We have met all the requirements. I do know that, according to the inspectors that are in charge of that location.
I understand from what you're saying, but until we get their sign off, we legally cannot process. And so what we can do is try to ask them to expedite that, on our end, so that we can try to get you in earlier.
Hopefully that will happen. I spoke with Ms. Levitt again.
Ms. Levitt?
Yeah, Carna Levitt, 2 days ago.
Okay.
And she said she would try to push the plans that were submitted to the portal, the as-bills, through faster.
Okay. Well, we will definitely ask them to follow up on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next applicant representing FM Chattanooga LLC, doing business as Frothy Monkey. Ryan Pruitt, Richard May, Jennifer Sheets, Jeff Gibbs, and Chase Ingalls are making application to engage in the sale of consumer beer in a portion of the Chattanooga Choo Choo. The group have a beer permit for Frothy Monkey located at 1400 Market Street, Unit 102. The location is owned by NP Choo Choo LLC and is on FBC UIX.
They've met all requirements.
Great. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
My name's not actually on this list.
Okay, what is your
My
name?
name is Ryan Maloney. Moloney. I'm the chief of staff for Frothy Monkey.
Great. Nice to meet you, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
Tell us what you're doing.
Well, we're just trying to take the beer permit that we've responsibly held since 2017 and extend it to the gardens. Definitely trying to, breathe some fresh life into the Chattanooga Choo Choo and try to attract more people to it.
Okay. Questions from the board?
What is an extension? So this extension, so you currently have a license and you're just extending to
the
additional
garden.
property
So they're
there?
extending their footprint of where they can serve.
Yes. So right now, it's just within, Frothy Monkey, but we also have an entrance to the lobby and then to the gardens beyond that.
Okay.
So it would give them access to the dome lobby that they have an entrance to, and then access through to the gardens.
Okay, cool.
So they can take a beer from there and go enjoy the gardens.
The gardens.
Correct.
Make a motion to approve the application.
We have a motion to approve from Dan Mayfield. Is there a second?
Second.
Who said the second?
Second.
Christie? Okay. Christie? Yes. Brooke? Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany? Yes. Reginald?
Yes.
JW? Yes. Chair votes yes, so approved. Thank you so much for doing business in Chattanooga.
Next applicant, the Bidder Alibi LLC, doing business as Lost in Transit, is doing the exact same thing. Jason Bowers is making application to engage in the sale of consumer carryout beer in a portion of the Chattanooga Choo Choo. Mr. Bowers has a beer permit for Lost in Transit located at 43 Station Street. The location is owned by NP Choo Choo Gardens LLC and is zoned FBCUIX.
Good morning.
Looks like this morning legal was the only thing that was,
Oh, I signed off on it.
okay, then they're good to go.
All right, perfect. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm Jason Bowers. We are doing the same thing. Instead of Frothy Monkey, we'll be hopefully using Lost in Transit, little bar and restaurant, to be able to expand our footprint so people can take their drinks into the newly renovated gardens. If you haven't been, they're gorgeous.
Mr. Mayfield?
I do have one question. Will y'all have your, so the garden will be a common area for both of y'all?
Right.
Is that correct? Okay.
Correct, yeah.
Not partitioned off that this is the Frothy Monkey part and this is the.
Right. This has kind of been a team effort with the tenants in the
Okay.
Choo Choo to try to work together and use that common area to all activate it.
All right,
So
very good.
instead of just one person, we've
Okay,
got multiple
very
people,
good.
yeah.
All right.
Any additional questions from the board or motions?
I make a motion, we approve the application.
We have a motion to approve from Dan Mayfield. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from JW Cole. Christie? Yes. Brooke? Yes. Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany? Yes. Reginald?
Yes.
JW?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, so approved. Thank you so much for doing
Appreciate it.
business.
Thank you.
They bring
Yeah.
the business down
That's
there.
great. All right,
I
next.
like that idea.
Next applicant, Texas Roadhouse Holdings LLC, doing business as Texas Roadhouse.
So we got a message through the portal. They want to pass theirs to, I think, the first one in April 3rd. Or is it April 3rd? April 4th.
April 4th, sorry. All right, so we need a motion.
A motion to pass to the 4th of April.
We have a motion from Tiffany to pass to April 4th. Is there a second? Second from Reginald?
Yes.
Yes. Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Reginald?
Yes.
JW?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, so passed to April 4th. All right, next we're going to move on to Rucker violations. We have none. Rucker applications, we have none. And then
Do you want to take, we need to get the video system set up, so let's ask for about a 5-minute recess. Will that give us enough time to get everything set up and ready to go? Yeah.
all right, we will take a 5-minute recess and be right back.
3/17/2024 per CPD 2423773. Previous violations, none.
Good morning. So I learned of a fight that occurred on March the 10th of 2024 at this location. I was able to see some video. I've got that video here if you guys want to take a look at it, and then I can explain further after the video.
So the fight took place on the 10th, but the report on the 17th, is that correct?
That was when I cited them, was the 17th.
Okay, all right, thank you. Sure.
Yeah, that's one. I'd like to see what's going on.
Is there sound?
There should be sound with it.
It's muted at the bottom.
Yeah, can you, it looks like it's muted at the bottom, potentially.
I don't need to hear it. Hold on, we gotta wait till everybody leave.
So this fight kind of took place, there's like a porch area going into the Dream, and that's the parking lot kind of facing out.
Okay.
After that fight, police responded, multiple police responded. There was off-duty officers working the parking lot, and they requested additional officers to come in because it kind of kept escalating after that. Eventually, they were able to get the crowd dispersed. This fight kind of started from some ongoing beef between two females. One of the females actually came there, stopped there, knowing that the other female worked there. My understanding is an altercation took place inside the bar. It come out, and the lady that was assaulted in the bar actually came outside to, I guess, confront the lady that assaulted her. And that's what led up to our fight. Looking into it, I discovered that the bar actually did not call it in on a landline. It was called in from a T-Mobile number. I don't know who that number belongs to. So again, they didn't call in from the landline. And as you can tell, it was pretty disorderly to the point to where they had to call in several officers to help disperse that crowd. So I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
I have a question. So you said that there was off-duty police officers outside of the establishment?
Correct.
How many?
I'd have to let Mr. Springs answer that.
It was 3.
3 off-duty?
Yes, and it was 2 females and a guy and a female into it, as you see on the video. It wasn't no large fight, but we had 3 officers, paid officers, outside the parking lot. It should have been handled before that, but as you can see on the video, that was the fight that occurred through a domestic that was out of our control. We got licensed security. Of course, we have 3 officers for the safety of the community at the restaurant as well.
So you have licensed security in addition to the 3 officers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know who called the police?
One of the staff called the police. It's just, he said the landline, the inspection of the fire marshals came out yesterday, made it clear that we got the call from the landline. So we totally understand. One of the staff called from the cell phone that night. We didn't know you supposed to call from the landline. Even though we had paid officers in the parking lot, we didn't know to call from a certain phone. We just knew to call the police. Even after though we did have 3 officers on site.
Okay, thank you.
And I can testify that I think the staff was confused on that as well, because they explained to me, hey, we had police on the parking lot, we didn't know. I reiterated that per the code that they were supposed to call out on the landline.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments from the board?
We don't have any previous violations on this property, right?
No.
Okay.
I have a question. So what steps have you taken as far as this is an ongoing issue between these 2 young ladies? What steps have you taken between those 2?
They are banned from the restaurant, period. We have 0 tolerance.
Including the one who was an employee?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
So she's no longer there?
No, ma'am.
I can also attest to that the manager on duty told me that they had to let her go.
Because someone came to her job and assaulted her on her job.
What's the capacity of your establishment?
512.
Wow.
I got the inspection from yesterday. We only been open 14 days. And I had 3 inspections within the last 14 days. I had a bar check and a chief fire marshals and all. I done had 3 checks even after I just had 5, 6 different inspections to even get a beer license. They done interfered on dinner on different occasions. And I just don't think it's fair trying to do something right, and I'm going about everything the right way. I'm hiring officers, 3 officers, when we don't even need that. They're making me get more than what I need. I can't afford it. We're just trying to do business here. You know what I'm saying? So I just appreciate it. You know, the city, look out for us just as well as we're looking out for the city, trying to provide, food, great food, and entertainment.
Yes, sir.
Are we operating as a restaurant in a bar?
Yes, we are a restaurant with a splash of urban entertainment for all nationalities, personalities, and mentalities.
Okay. Any additional questions or comments from the board or motions? To sustain the violation, yeah. To sustain or not. Yeah.
So I would like to make a motion to not sustain the violation.
So a
violation. There's 2, there's the telephone and reports of disorders, and then operating a disorderly place.
Oh, wait, there's 2
So for the
separate?
one for reporting a telephone, calling in. Okay.
So we have a motion from Tiffany to not sustain the violation of telephone and reports of disorder on a landline, is that correct?
Yes.
So we would, I'm sorry, question. So that would be eliminating the telephone and the,
No, just.
She's only making a motion on the telephone violation. There's 2, so there's also an operating of a disorderly place, which is a second violation. There's 2 on the same report. So she is saying, her motion is to not sustain the telephone violation.
because there was a call made just from a landline.
It was from a cell phone.
I can understand that.
So,
I'll second that.
Okay.
so on that violation from Tiffany, we have a motion to not sustain the violation on the telephone and reports of disorders, and a second from Dan Mayfield.
Yes. Discussion on the motion.
Discussion on the motion.
I just want to be clear that not sustain means that, like, we're just not even going to bother with that. We're not,
Like it'll be dismissed.
Correct.
that's all we need to know.
Can I call a question?
Go ahead.
No, I'll call for the vote.
Oh, I thought you said you had a question, I'm sorry. Okay. Christie?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Brooke, yes? Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany? Yes. Reginald?
Yes.
So that is not sustained, so now we need to discuss or make a motion on the operating of a disorderly place.
That's a hard bill.
How long was it? It's kind of hard to follow the timeline on this.
Yeah.
The 10th it happened, the 17th it was called in.
No, how long was it after all this was it called in almost immediately?
I can't answer that question. I don't know how soon it was called in.
Video.
Okay.
So a question before us is to sustain the violation or not.
Correct. Open to any motions, questions, comments?
I'll make a motion to not to sustain, and the reason being is because, the call, they did call in and they had 3 officers, in the parking lot.
So we have
8
a,
officers.
okay, we have a motion from Tiffany to not sustain the operating of a disorderly place. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second from Reginald. Did you second as well, or no?
It was,
That was Brooke, I'm sorry. It's fine, I think I heard him first, but not to dismiss yours, it's okay. So the motion is from Tiffany, a second from Reginald. Is there any discussion before we vote? All right, Christie?
Yes.
Brooke?
yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Reginald?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, so that is also not sustained. So both of those violations have been dismissed.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it. I really do.
We appreciate you taking the steps, and we hope you to have better luck
Thank you.
moving forward and success.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, after, we have no more violations, and then now we have discussion. So we discuss looks like we have Mr. Anderson coming to share some news with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the Beer Board. Thank you for letting me present to you today.
Thank you for being here.
I believe you all received a letter last week and again last night clarifying what our purpose is today. So in the ordinance that City Council passed in January of 2023, it provided for, and I'm reading section 35-160 in the code for the record. It states, it has a clause, provide an annual increase every January based on the annual inflation increase from the prior month's data to be approved each year by the Beer and Record Board. And that only applies to 3 charges. For Class A towing, and they're delineated with an asterisk in the ordinance. So it's A-class daytime tow, A-class night, weekend, holiday tow, and B-class extra winching. Those 3 are subject to an annual increase based on the previous year's inflation rate, which we calculated at 3.09%.
Okay.
So I believe in the letter I sent again last night, you should see the new amounts, and please bear with me as I pull that up. So those new rates would be for the daytime tow and Class A tows $232, for the night, weekend, holiday Class A tow $258, and for the extra winching it would be $309. And for Class B tows, extra winching for Class B tows. So the process works like this. The ordinance kind of makes this automatic already. It really just needs an approval from y'all, if you agree with it, to send it to City Council, and then they will likely approve it within a few weeks, whenever it can get on their agenda, and it will go into effect. But it does require council approval. It just needs to be reviewed by this board before it goes to the City Council.
Okay.
Chris, quick question. Class B is the heavier. That's Class A is like regular automobiles and regular records, and Class B is the bigger records.
Yes, sir, I believe that's correct, Dan.
All right, very good.
No, or is it?
I'd like to call it Mark Shackelford.
I was gonna say our resident expert on towing.
It is for the larger vehicles, is it not?
I mean, well, winching is when they have to pull it out of a ditch or.
When all this hit the press about the winching rates increasing, it appears that the increase was calculated on a B-class extra winching rate.
Correct.
When we approached City Council to make the ordinance revision a year and a half ago, it was my understanding that the rates that we were tallying for an increase each fiscal year, January 1, were predominantly for the A-class towing rates, because that's what we came to council to address as an industry. B-class and C-class were your guys that are operating in that capacity. That was, Mostellers Yates, Mont Eagle Wrecker, Hancock, an array of folks that just operate in that sandbox. It's my belief that the 3% increase or 3.09 with your, I guess your inflation calculations, I would feel like it would apply to all A-class rates that were allocated in the ordinance with the asterisk.
Well, I will say, Mark, I appreciate that you feel that way, but I have to go by the way the ordinance is written.
Yeah, and I've read the ordinance, and what Chris is saying is true. The asterisks are by a few in the ordinance, and that's just something we'll have to go back to council to get readjusted, I'm sure.
Right, and I'm happy to work with you for an amendment to city council before next year's increase, and we can change that if that is council's intent.
I think the industry would be fine with the 3.09 based on the daytime and the nighttime rates. I don't think anybody here would argue that.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
do we know what the current rates are right now?
I can answer that, Madam Chair, if that's all
Thank
right.
you. Yes, please.
The current rate for A-class daytime tow is $225, for A-class night weekend holiday is $250, and for B-class extra winching is $300.
Okay, all right, very good.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
All right.
That one had increased.
And what I heard in that conversation was the 3.09 was done off of what I heard, BC rates. I guess, is there a difference rate between A-class and B-class rates? I guess there is, right?
Yes, sir, JW. A-class is a lower rate than the B-class rate. So the extra winching for A-class, according to the ordinance that City Council passed into law a little over a year ago, would remain at $100 an hour for a flat rate.
Gotcha.
It's only, and again, I'm governed by what City Council has passed into law,
Correct.
regardless of if they had a different intent. It says that B-class extra winching is $300 an hour and A-class extra winching is $100. So that
Gotcha.
$300 for the B-class would go to $309.
Gotcha.
All right.
Gotcha. Thank you, Chris.
There is no increase to the A-class extra winching, despite what you may read in various online newspapers in Chattanooga.
All right. Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll make a,
So that it goes to city council.
yeah, I'll make a motion, we approve the revised rate increases.
I second that motion.
We have a motion from Dan Mayfield to approve and a second from JW.
Yeah.
Christie? Yes. Brooke? Dan?
Yes.
Tiffany? Yes. Reginald?
Yes.
JW?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, so approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and again, thank you for your service to this board. I know it's a tedious job, and it's one of the longest agendas of all of our 50 boards. We truly appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, any further discussion on any topics before we move on to public comments? We will now hear public comments. Anyone wishing to address the board may do so at this podium and speak for 3 minutes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please state your names.
My name is Kelly Kroll, and
I'm Kendall Kroll. Oh, will you spell your last name?
Kroll, K-R-O-L-L.
Okay, thank you.
May I, without cutting into my 3 minutes, pass this out?
Ms. Bertha will get these from you. Or sorry,
This is my copy, one that everybody wants one.
Thank you.
What were your first names again? My first name is Kelly.
Start the timer.
Mine's Kendall. Kelly and... Kendall.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Ms. Kroll.
I'm speaking on my daughter's behalf to help her try to navigate this situation. And on February 7th, her vehicle was towed from Park 1346 by a company called Chattanooga Impound Services LLC. And her truck was under their possession for about 1.5 hours. When we realized it was gone, got in touch with the towing company and was told to pick it up at 2800 Rossville Boulevard initially, and to come with cash, $225, and you can see the receipt on the last page of that. we're here, I know I've only got 3 minutes, we've only got 3 minutes. We are here, first of all, for some clarification on the municipal codes. So what I've handed you, I have a question first about on the first page, E, the rate schedule for non-consent towing from private property. My question is, do the all record services in Chattanooga have to abide by this municipal code and the rate schedule? I don't know if any of you know the answer to that, but.
Mosier?
No, they don't. Only the ones on rotation.
Only the ones on rotation under the city have to abide by this code.
So does that mean that any record company in this city who is not on rotation can come up with any fee that they want to for towing?
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to request, I don't know anything about how this begins, but I would like to request regulation be put in place because of issues that we have experienced and issues that I think a lot of people in the city have experienced with private tow.
Okay. And can you state again where it was towed from? I'm sorry.
Part 1346.
I want to make sure.
It's an apartment
complex. Okay.
They had my vehicle for an hour and a half and only made it 0.9 miles away and dropped it at a Circle K. They were like, hey, meet us at this Circle K. We'll give you your vehicle if you give us $225 in cash. And I'm thinking they have to go to the lot, right? So I want to know where my vehicle was for that hour and a half.
If these regulations don't apply to this particular company, I understand that her vehicle was damaged. That's the issue. The next day, she made a police report, and over the next few days, she got estimates from 3 different auto repair shops. The estimate of the 3 was $2,000 in damage to her truck. The driver for this company took before pictures of her truck, and then my daughter met him at Circle K, again, 0.9 miles away, and videoed everything. And you can see the damages on her vehicle. So I understand this is a civil matter, but I don't know where to start, but I would love to request tighter regulations for companies that are not on rotation, as you say.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry.
I believe that would fall under the purview of city council.
Yes.
So I would get in touch with your representative for whatever district you live in and raise those concerns with them.
Or the district from where it was towed?
Do you live at that, where it was, no, okay. So then, maybe both, the district you live in, but also the district that it was towed? Because city council is the one who, as you just heard previously, will set the rates and will also the policies and so on for that.
Okay.
So I would think that you would need to talk to your representatives.
Every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, is that?
Yes, ma'am.
We're there.
You also can
30. It's actually 3:30 now.
They adjusted it, so now it's 3:30 their times. But you can also email them to start that conversation and send them your information that you have shared with us as well. And then they can actually tell you when to show up.
Okay.
When would be a good time for you to show up.
Thank you, and thank you all for volunteering your time for this board.
No, I'm sorry this happened.
We are
We're
too.
really sorry this happened.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else with public comment? Come on up to the podium, please. Were you sworn in, sir?
I was not.
You were not sworn in? Okay, Lori will swear you in.
Raise your right hand, please, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
And what is your name, sir?
My name is Larry Bailey, Operations Manager for Chattanooga Impound.
I'm sorry, where?
I'm the Operations Manager for Chattanooga Impound.
Okay, got it. Thank you. You have 3 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so basically, from my understanding, our driver, of course, we're hired by Park 1346 to patrol the property. He noticed we have tag readers on our vehicles. As pulling through, it lights up green for resident, yellow for visitors, and red for unauthorized vehicles. At this time, he started typing in her vehicle to tow it, put it into our dispatch system. Only one of our trucks have dollies on it, so he had to leave to dolly a vehicle. Going back, getting Ms. Crowell's vehicle, interstate's backed up. Dispatch lets them know that she wants her vehicle, or I think he might have had the phones this night. I'm not sure on that. So being that the interstate was backed up, he told her that he would just meet her at the Circle K, had to have cash because he doesn't have a credit card processor. So that's what happened with this. There is complaints of damages to the vehicle. I met with them, I walked out, she had 3 estimates. It looks like someone deliberately put 2 little holes in her little plastic bumper, seemed like an easy fix. I have 3 daughters, so I'm like, I thought her mom was out of town or something, so I was trying to be helpful. I do have friends that do body work. I'm like, hey, I've got a buddy that can, because she's accusing us of scraping the side of her vehicle, different things. I was like, I've got a friend, and again, if this is one of my daughters, I'm like, hey, LeBron, help me out on this. Well, they insisted that we use one of their estimates, which the cheapest one was $1,400. I felt like it was fair. Time I tried to buy this little plastic piece, and again, everybody we tow says we damaged their vehicle. They're very upset, and it's always the older vehicles. I've not had one complaint from a brand new vehicle going, hey, you've scratched the side of my, it's always an older vehicle, and I'm not accusing her of that. I'm just saying we get this every day. So I called, and she gave me the estimate. I called Tim at Mako Paint and Body. I said, hey, there's a young lady brought it. He goes, yes, she did. And the young lady said, you damaged her bumper. I said, we're paying for it. I get an email saying they would not accept that, and they wanted $2,000 plus us to refund the towing rate. And again, $225, we were told that was a fair rate because we're not on rotation. We're not, with no $500, $1,000, we're not price gouging. We felt like $225 was a fair rate. If that's not, we can talk about that. But anyways, they turned down my offer to fix the vehicle, and again, I don't feel like we've done that because of, anything about a uploader, we call them snatch trucks. I feel like it would have ripped her bumper off, not put 2 little bitty holes in a black thing. But again, the damage is there. That's all I got to say about it. So that's why we're here today.
Thank you for sharing. You have a question?
No, I've got a question. So the way that you found her vehicle, Sarah, you were explaining, you were riding around and you were checking license plate was she parked in a designated area that wasn't supposed to be or whatever,
Yes, sir.
however? I missed about the part of you reading license plates to see what they
Well, I'd say it's a great program. We've recovered stolen vehicles and everything. So basically, we have about 50-something apartments and businesses in Chattanooga. So if it's employees or residents, they give us all their tag numbers and we put them in our tag reader. So when we pull through the property, if it's a visitor, we have the QR code. They put, hey, I'm visiting apartment number 311, whatever. So every property is different. Some have visitor parking. The residents are complaining. They come home with groceries. There's nowhere to park. There's abandoned vehicles, stolen vehicles. So anyway, so when we go through the parking lot, if it lights up yellow, it tells us it's a approved guest. And they do this for another reason. It allows guests to register 14 times. On that 15th day, it does not let them to register, and that's no longer a visitor, that's a resident. So they have to go down and get on the lease, do background checks, and this system's great, by the way, guys. It's getting people they don't want on their property, bad people they don't want on their property. It's making the community safer. So anyways, but to answer your question, our truck drives through, it's got cameras on either side, and it's reading tags. Green, 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 yellow, approved, red. Why is that red tag there? We're getting dumped stolen vehicles. I've lost count. We were over 10 last time I checked on stolen vehicle recovery. I've got over 100 abandoned vehicles, flat tire, expired tags. I wish we could help y'all with some of the Chattanooga roads. You ride down and there's cars with expired tags and flat tires and what have you. Well, these apartment communities doesn't want that. So we have different programs. Some's an immediate tow and some we sticker. So if we pull through and see expired tags or busted out windows, cats live in the car, homeless people, we put a green sticker giving them 24, 48 hours to remove the vehicle.
So sticker is normally given first, or once you see that red, You're just gonna automatically?
Right. So the immediate tows are stuff, so if a vehicle's not registered, which is what happened with her, the apartment communities want us to remove it because they don't know who the vehicle is. They don't know if the vehicle's just been parked there and they're shopping up the road somewhere. Their parking's limited. They've only got so many parking spots for residents, and I think it's like 7% for visitors. So if they have a bunch of abandoned vehicles, stolen vehicles, guests leaving their car there overnight, or even a resident, they only give them 2 or 3 cars per apartment. They might own 5. They're like, hey, you've got to take those cars and pay for parking somewhere. You can't have them here.
So there's no warning given, it just, you flagged, you towed?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, any additional questions or discussion with? All right, thank you for your feedback.
You're welcome. Thank y'all.
All right, is there any additional public comments? All right, is there a motion, any motions for adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We are
There's so
adjourned.
many questions, but let's adjourn.
Can you vote?